stormy afternoon has given way to a beautiful evening here in the Bayou City. Coming up on CSN, it's a Week 13 NWSL showdown between the Houston Dash and Western New York Flash. Sebastian Salazar and Jen Cooper along with you here on CSN. And Jen, urgency, the key word tonight. If either of these two teams wants to make an honest run at the NWSL postseason, it has to start here. Western New York comes into this one in 6th place, Houston 8th place in the 9-team league.
Western New York Flash, who was the regular season champion for 2013, they can make big progress tonight. A win leapfrogs them up to 3rd place, tied with Washington Spirit. The Dash, who have 2 more games to play than the Flash, every point's going to make a difference. They still have a chance. Thanks to Seattle's dominance in the standings, no one's out of it yet.
This the 3rd and final meeting between these two teams in 2014. Both of the prior meetings went to the Houston Dash. Let me take you back to June 11th when the two sides met here at BBVA Compass Stadium. And Jen, this was one of the few games all season really where Houston has gotten off on the front foot.
Scoring first thanks to Tiffany McCarty, great little spin. And this followed the game at Sky Blue where she had 2 goals in that game. Great moment for McCarty.
McCarty red hot during that stretch. The equalizer would come in the 62nd minute from the Spaniard, Adriana Martin, with a classy chip over Erin McLeod. Then some controversy just 2 minutes later. In the 64th, Jasmine Spencer and Kaylin Kyle come together in the Western New York penalty area, and a penalty get called. The Mexican international, Teresa Noyola, steps up and delivers.
And of course, we rely on the best person to take that PK, Teresa Noyola, who scored the game-winning PK against Boston on April 20th for the club's first win.
The final score in that one, 2-1. The final score when these two teams met on May 31st in Western New York, also 2-1. Can the Dash make it 3 for 3? When we return on CSN, starting lineups, plus some players to watch. It's women's professional soccer coming up just a few moments.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. Coming up in just a few moments, it's kickoff between the Houston Dash and Western New York Flash. NWSL action here, just a little bit past the midway point of the campaign. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper with you. Big news off the field for both the Houston Dash and the Houston Dynamo this week. On Tuesday, the Dynamo announcing that they've reached an agreement with BHP Billiton to become the MLS club's new title jersey sponsor. You'll also see BHP Billiton on the back of the Houston Dash jerseys. BHP Billiton, an Australian resources company specializing in petroleum and potash. Of course, they've got about 2,000 employees here in the greater Houston area, a very diverse workforce. I think their president told me that there was something like 51 countries represented, so a good tie in there with the international game. Let's get into our players to watch, and we'll begin with the visitors and their midfield star, Carly Lloyd, the reigning NWSL Player of the Week.
Carly Lloyd scored 2 goals against Boston in the team's 2-1 win last week, earning Player of the Week honors. She's their captain, known as Captain Carly, longtime starter on the U.S. national team, and scored the game-winning goal in both Olympic finals, 2008 and 2012.
Our player to watch for the Houston Dash is a player you have yet to see, Megan Klingenberg. No video of her because she hasn't made her debut. Finally, after a lightning delay, injuries, call-ups,
Champions League final.
We're going to get to finally see Kling. I know nobody in this stadium happier about that than Randy Waldron.
She's got 13 caps for the U.S. national team. She's a very versatile player, can play defender, midfield, and even played forward at North Carolina, where she won 2 NCAA titles. Was part of the Tyresa Champions League team that made it all the way to the final, losing 4-3 to Wolfsburg. I know, as you said, Randy Waldron's so happy to have her. She's going to be a big part of that back line tonight.
Real quick, let's get into the starting lineups for the visitors under head coach Aaron Lyons. Lydia Williams in goal, Reynolds, Taylor, Williams, and Allen across the back. Salem, Zerboni, Lasada, and Lloyd in midfield, and Samantha Kerr and Jasmine Spencer up top. For the Dash, under head coach Randy Waldron, it's Aaron McLeod. There's Megan Klingenberg getting her first start for Houston. Osinachi Ohale, Whitney Engen, anchor the back line, Stephanie Oakes at left back, Kyle, Masser, Edwards in the 3-man midfield, Ohai, Berger, McCarty up top. Again, the Dash operating out of that very familiar 4-3-3. Some news this week, Jen, about Dash head coach Randy Waldron. Reports out of Trinidad and Tobago that Waldron will take over the TNT program for the upcoming Caribbean qualifying tournament.
Yeah, Randy has a background with the Trinidadian squad. He coached the U17 women's team in qualifying for CONCACAF World Cup slots back in 2008. He knows the country well. He's got some great connections there. Speaking with him today, he said they had reached out to him a long time ago asking, hey, would you consider being our head coach? Obviously, with the Dash opportunity that happened, it's not an opportunity he can take right now, but until we have confirmed reports from the Dash, it's understood that he might be helping them while they're training in Houston.
Western New York, going right to left on your screen in the all-whites. The Dash in orange, white, and orange, right to left. Through ball from Spencer, cut out there by Engen. Gives some class and experience there at the back line for Houston. Offsides whistle against Samantha Kerr. Kerr, one of the more dangerous players in this league, Jen. Her pace really sets her apart in the final third.
She's part of the Australian trio on the field tonight for Western New York Flash. She's not only scored for them, assisted several goals. She's been a key part of this team, especially when you've had Abby Wambach out for more than a month now.
Edwards battling in midfield, as we've seen her do so often this season. Ball springs wide. Vicky Lasada. Vicky, part of the Spanish contingent on this Western New York side. Very international outfit here from Western New York.
And we've got a couple people here for New York tonight that weren't here June 11th. Carly Lloyd, of course, our player to watch. She was unavailable that night with U.S. national team duty, and Coach Aaron Lyons was at home waiting on the birth of his first child.
Lyons, a longtime international for New Zealand, played in both the 1999 and 2003 Confederations Cups. Ball out of bounds. Klingenberg could not get there in time.
Talking with Randy earlier today, it was interesting hearing him walk through where he thought he might put Klingenberg. Many options on the back line, also in midfield, and he expressed some concern that he had built up this lineup that was doing really well in the absence of Engen and Klingenberg, and so he's like, how do I take those players out of those spots when it's not that they're performing poorly?
Ball over the top. Kyle will flick it on to Ohio. Ohio in behind the defense. On a right foot. Shot deflected. And a chance goes begging early for the Dash. As you were saying, Jen, Klingenberg, a very versatile player, so a lot of different choices for Randy Waldron there.
Yeah, originally he had mentioned he was going to start her in place of Oaks, and maybe Oaks could come in as a relief for the forwards, but for only the second time this season, Ari Romero not getting the start, so it's Klingenberg and Ari Romero's spot.
Long ball over the top. Looks like McLeod going to be first to it. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. Jasmine Spencer ruled offside. Of course, the Dash have had somewhat of a nightmarish week, Jen. They were supposed to play on Wednesday up in New Jersey against Sky Blue FC. That did not happen. If that would have been the worst thing that happened to Houston, it might have been all right. But travel delays have really not only prevented them from getting game action in, but also any real training time.
They've had almost no practice this week. With the trip up to New Jersey, they had a 4-hour lightning delay, and then the game, they decided at 11 o'clock Eastern time, all right, this is not going to get played. We'll have to reschedule it. And then on their flight back, they left Newark, New Jersey at 1:30 in the afternoon, which was already 2 hours later than they were supposed to leave. They got to Houston at 1:30 in the morning, thanks to weather delays, being rerouted to Austin, and all kinds of travel madness.
Oaks and Kyle combining on the challenge there. Oaks with a through ball to Berger. Flag up, and despite numerous protests from the Dash bench, the Austrian international, Nina Berger, caught in an offside position. As we mentioned, Western New York coming into this one with a 6-8-2 record, sitting on 20 points and right now 6th in the 9-team NWSL. Pumping down the left side, Catherine Reynolds on her left foot, tackled away by Tiffany McCarty. The forward doing some grunt work at the back. Ball now knocked ahead, Berger pressuring, but a calm turn from Kat Williamson, the McKinney, Texas native, helping Western New York build out of the back. Quick transition here from the visitors as they bring Tegan Allen down the right side. Ball in. Lloyd behind the defense. She'll shoot. And fortunately for Houston, Lloyd just behind the last defender offsides. Catch Dash Soccer in HD all season long on CSN Houston. It's the home of Houston Dash and Houston Dynamo Soccer here in the Bayou City.
Wednesday's night game in New Jersey was not the first time the Dash had to deal with the weather delay. Their match at Chicago back in May had about a 3.5-hour weather delay, but did get played because it had a much earlier kickoff time.
Spencer and Ohale in a fierce battle just outside the Houston box. The Nigerian international triumphant there, and Klingenberg will have acres of space down this right side. McCarty launches a run forward. Here comes service from Klingenberg, but it's well cut out by the Western New York back four. Anxious moments for the Flash there until Tegan Allen comes away with it. Maryland, Kyle. Patient in midfield. And just off the mark with her pass. 8 minutes in, 0-0 here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Week 13 NWSL matchup. Houston Dash, Western New York Flash. Both teams outside the playoff picture right now, but still with plenty of time to turn things around. So the grace period quickly coming to an end.
It's one of the few things working in the Dash's favor was Seattle taking points from so many teams above the Dash. The Dashers still have a chance to finish in 4th.
Ball played into the box. McLeod there ahead of Spencer. And as has been the custom with this Dash side, Erin McLeod will roll it out to one of her outside backs and start play. Randy Waldrum very much preferring that his teams build out of the back, maintain possession in this 4-3-3. Switch from Klingenberg misguided. Oakes nearly corrals it. Instead, it'll be Samantha Kerr running at Whitney Engen. A great matchup here. Kerr into the box on her right foot. Kerr denied by Engen. The U.S. international twice stands tall. Kyle trying to get to it first. Lasada uses her body well. Lasada dancing on it, but Becky Edwards with some fight, and the Dash come away with it.
Great defense by Engen. Goal side of her player shuts Samantha Kerr down twice.
Samantha Kerr, as we said, a dangerous threat. 5 goals, 2 assists already this season. Made her international debut for Australia at just 15 years old. Incredible to think about that.
The Aussies and the Kiwis are notorious for that. I've seen player resumes where they've already played in 2 World Cups and they're not even 23.
Tom Sermani, a big part of Australia's youth movement. Also responsible for quite a few of the younger players that are now in the U.S. women's pool.
And Klingenberg would be one of those. She's seen a lot of time. She saw a lot of time for the U.S. in 2013 when Sermani was still in charge of the team.
Good ball work here in midfield from Western New York. It's Reynolds down the left flank. Working against Klingenberg, pushes it past the Dash defender. Ball goes out of bounds for a goal kick. The Dash have lost their last 2 games, but by just a goal apiece. And it was actually last week here at BBVA Compass Stadium that we saw Randy Waldrum kind of get after the team a little bit in his post-game comments, really for the first time this season. You get a sense that, talked about grace periods earlier, the kind of honeymoon of the expansion phase is over. Randy Waldrum's a guy that's accustomed to winning, and he wants to see that now from this team.
Right, and he feels that the last few losses have come down to just one moment of falling asleep at the wheel, for lack of a better phrase. The match before when they lost, it was 1-1, and in the 93rd minute, the Kansas City finds a goal.
Dash enter tonight's match with a 4-9-1 record overall. 8th place in the NWSL. 13 points from their 14 games. O'Hale with a soft back pass to Erin McLeod. Jasmine Spencer never quit on the play. Credit to her, as the forward out of the University of Maryland nearly springs a surprise strike in the 12th minute. Instead, it'll be a corner kick for Western New York. Vicky Lasada, who in 2013 was the FC Barcelona captain, will offer up this service. Driven in, headed away by Becky Edwards. Kaylee O'Hai chases it down. Edwards stumps it forward, and she had Ohio in behind the Western New York defense. Well cut out there by Tegan Allen. Turnover. Spencer in behind. Can she tuck it over? Yes! McLeod gambled and lost. Jasmine Spencer with a classy one-time finish, and in the 13th minute, the visitors take a 1-0 lead.
Just like that goal against Western New York before, where Adriana chipped McLeod. Same thing. They know McLeod will come out. She took the risk and she lost.
So Western New York strikes first. Jasmine Spencer, who was a live wire when these two teams met back on June 11th here at BBVA Compass Stadium, with the opener, as Houston falls behind here at home.
And that's her second goal on the 2014 NWSL season.
Spencer making just her 6th start of the campaign, but proving head coach Aaron Lyons right early in this one. Ball wide, nice touch there from Angela Salem to put Tegan Allen in, but the Aussie can't corral it, and the Dash will look to clear their defensive third.
Allen is a recent acquisition for Western New York Flash, and this is just her first start for the New York club. She's another one of those young ones who has already appeared in a Women's World Cup.
Good pressure here on the near sideline from Becky Edwards, but it'll be Western New York ball. Catherine Reynolds launches the Flash attack. Reynolds on it, quick ball movement into Vicky. Lasada springs it wide. Will Allen get there? Gave it a game effort, but not in time. Carly Lloyd with a give and go in midfield. And this one will come back a few yards, but a set piece coming up for Western New York here in the 15th minute. A quick reminder, get social with the Houston Dash. Like us, follow us, and watch us on all of your favorite social media outlets to get extended coverage of your Houston Dash. Log on to houston-soccer.com/social media for your social media dashboard. And remember, #DashOn. 15th minute, service comes in from Lasada to the back stick. Carly Lloyd, it's a goal! But not so fast. The offside flag up on the far sideline, and the Dash dodge a bullet. Could have been 2-0 there before the quarter-hour mark.
As we saw in the pregame highlights, we know she can be lethal off those free kicks served in. Great run, but just a little offside.
Carly Lloyd, one of just 9 players with 50 goals or more for the U.S. Women's National Team. Berger on the ball, into McCarty. McCarty double teamed, but she'll turn on it here and take it into the Western New York box. McCarty on her left foot, back to Masser. Masser flicks it forward. McCarty gonna be first to it. Carly battling, will find Klingenberg. Klingenberg, service, into the box. Berger rises up. Williams missed it. The Austrian international chases it down in the corner. Stephanie Oakes, left-footed ball into Ohio. Ohio back to goal. Ohio looking for help on her left foot. Crosses it. Masser denied. Edwards shot off of Masser's back. And Western New York finally clears it, but the Dash close to an equalizer there. And a whistle in the center of the park.
You can see that the rain we had earlier today has made the field a little slippery. The great fight by the Dash, especially Kalia High. She had her first professional goal against Western New York back on May 31st.
Credit to the Western New York defense right there, selling out, bodies in front of the ball, preventing a shot on Lydia Williams in goal. Kerr in again, but offsides. The young Australian international living on the edge. And with her pace, any advantage she gets can be lethal. 18 caps for the Matildas. One nothing here in the 18th minute. A 12th minute strike from Jasmine Spencer. The difference between the visitors from Western New York and the home Houston Dash.
Spencer was part of the Washington Spirit Club last season, acquired on a trade with New York. I'm sure Tiffany McCarty and Stephanie Oakes know her well.
Washington, one of the teams perhaps hit hardest in the expansion draft. O'Hale on the ball. Klingenberg goes all the way back to McLeod in some real trouble here, and she'll simply put it out of play. A very humid night here in Houston. More often than not, both we've seen it with the Dynamo and with the Dash. That should favor the home side as these players train in this humidity day in and day out.
Well, and I'm sure Randy Waldrum is hoping that the rest for this week, quote unquote rest, will help out. I'm sure the travel was very draining, but virtually no practices this week.
Chance to move the ranks up the field here for Houston. But a loose touch from Ohio surrenders possession to Western New York. The Dash have scored just 16 goals so far this season. That's tied for the fewest in the league with Sky Blue FC. On the other side of things, no team outside Seattle has scored more than Western New York with their 26.
And Seattle with a 2-1 win at New York Wednesday night. They now have more points than any team last season, and they still have 8 games to play.
Oakes bombing down the left side. Working against Allen, tries to pick out McCarty, unable to do so, but here's Kyle on the ball. Kyle, wide to Ohio. Ohio with a chance to run a defender. Into the box on her right foot, cross, shot, save! Williams hangs on, but Kyle was right there, and the Dash ever so close to an equalizer.
Great work rate by Ohio. Gets around player, gets that ball in, and Beck Edwards is almost, Kaylin Kyle, almost there to tap it in.
Credit to Williams. As that ball came in, took a deflection right in front of her. Not only does she make the save, but manages to avoid any type of rebound. McCarty now, in behind Williamson. McCarty into the box, shot, save. And Randy Waldrum and his staff want something there from center ref Katya Koroleva. Williamson caught clawing at Tiffany McCarty, and here we go. Finally, Koroleva will come back and deliver a card. Williamson with a yellow in the 21st. Jen, a well-deserved caution there from Williamson.
Certainly. I was surprised seeing her hang on to McCarty that long, especially after all the highlights, slow motion highlights we've seen in the World Cup in the last couple of weeks.
Edwards under pressure from Lloyd. Lloyd now deflects. It'll be picked up by Zerboni in midfield. Kerr trying to chase that one down. O'Hale does a nice job to shield off the Australian, and Canadian international Aaron McLeod out to gather. Kyle switches here to Ohai. Ohai and Zerboni battling. Now McCarty and Salem. Klingenberg on it. She looks for Berger. Williamson intervenes. And Williams clears. But again, the Dash maintained possession. Houston looking for an equalizer. Ohai, long touch, poked away. Here comes Western New York. Zerboni, nice ball through midfield. Losada on it. A sliding challenge from Ella Masser. Breaks up the play, but only for a moment. American internationals Engen and Lloyd on the far side doing battle, last touched by the veteran Lloyd.
Western New York Flash is the only team that Dash has the tiebreaker against if it came down to being tied in the final standings, having won the 2 previous matches in the 3-game series. But if the Dash can't get the points to finish in the top 4, tiebreaker won't mean anything.
2-1 win for Houston at Western New York on May 31st. Same score here at BBVA Compass Stadium on June 11th.
And those were the bookends to the Dash's 3-game winning streak.
"24 minutes in here in Houston. Western New York up 1-0. 12th minute goal from Jasmine Spencer. She's on it now. Turns and finds Lloyd. Lloyd running at Engen again. Watch that matchup all night. It'll be one of the best on the field. And now we've got a player down in the box. Allen whips in a service. Trouble here. McLeod and Ohale seem to be confused, but the Nigerian sweeps it away. McCall Zerboni. 1-on-3. She won't win that battle. And now Zerboni taken down. Klingenberg wanted the foul first. She doesn't get it, retaliates, and a very dangerous set piece opportunity here for Western New York. "23-year-old Vicky Losada made her debut with the Spanish national team in 2010. Sets up for the free kick. Drives it to the back post. Last touch by Western New York. Goal kick Houston.
Losada currently leads the league in assists. She's got 6 on the season so far. And I'd be very surprised if we don't see her next summer in the Women's World Cup, as Spain is on the top of their European qualifying group.
Adriana Martin, Sonia Bermudez, both on the bench here for Western New York. They make up the Spanish contingent for the Flash. Sorry, Martin not on the bench tonight. Stephanie Oakes on it. Oakes, as we've mentioned on our broadcast throughout this season, continuing what has been so far a very successful transition from attacking wing player to left back. A move born of necessity for Randy Waldrum early this year when he was running out of defensive players, waiting on Whitney Engen and Megan Klingenberg to return from their time with Tyrezo, Swedish club playing in the Champions League.
And dealing with the injuries to Ayasama Shima, originally signed by the club in February, and Lauren Sesselman's knee injury.
Spencer offside. Western New York clearly seems to have the scouting report on this Houston back four. The Dash at times play very high in defense, and the Flash not shy about trying to get in behind. Keep up with Keeper Notes to stay in touch with all the latest women's soccer news on Facebook, Twitter, and at keepernotes.com. Remember, you better keep her notes.
You always keep my notes, right, Sebastian? Every
Actually,
email I send?
Yes, I do. You're the one that's keeping notes now, I hope, for our halftime highlights. Lloyd breaking through. Kerr. Past O'Hale. Kerr with the shot. Goal! Samantha Kerr. 2-0 Western New York in the 28th.
She gets past O'Hale. Little Erin McLeod can do other than to come out and try to smother that ball, but Kerr neatly chips it right over her.
How about the pass from Carly Lloyd?
And now Samantha and Carly Lloyd are tied for the team lead, 6 goals on the season. They have so many different potent areas of attack. You know, you don't even have Abby Wambach on the squad right now, but you've got Lloyd, you've got Kerr, you've got Lasada, you've got Spencer.
Dash players coming together on their side of midfield as Captain Erin McLeod tries to re-energize the troops. Long way to go here for Houston, though. As we approach the half-hour mark, the Dash down 2-0.
We've seen this team come back from a 2-0 deficit against Boston and also against Kansas City.
Spencer into the box. She's got time. Drops it back to Kerr. Kerr with a touch. The Australian still on it. Kerr tried to pick out Lloyd, couldn't do so. Now Angela Salem on the ball. Salem turns, and she's got Reynolds streaking down the left side. Reynolds cuts it back onto her right foot. Service coming in. O'Hale with the header. Down to Kaylin Kyle, who picks out O'Hale, but the Dash still under pressure. Klingenberg knocks it forward as Houston can breathe, at least momentarily, but Western New York right now raining it down on Erin McLeod and that Houston goal. Klingenberg wins the one-on-one battle with Kerr. She now finds McCarty. Nice turn. McCarty. And what a save. Lydia Williams at full extension in the 30th minute to keep the Dash off the scoreboard.
Great run by McCarty. Just needed that ball to be a little bit wider to give the Dash the goal and the confidence to come back and get in this game.
Sada turns in midfield, pestered by Kyle. She'll go back to McCall Zerboni. Kerr out here with time and space. A dangerous combination for one of the fastest players in the league. Vicky Lasada looking for the through ball there, but denied by O'Hale. Kerr checking back from an offside position. She'll let this one roll out of bounds. Jen, Western New York looking really good right now, and doing so without their basically biggest star. Abby Wambach hasn't played since May 31st when she injured her knee against the Houston Dash, coming off in the 24th minute of that 2-1 win for Randy Waldrom's team.
And this is the only team in the league, when they did the original allocations of U.S. national team players, they only got 2. They got Carly and Abby Wambach, and that was it.
It's a pretty good duo.
Pretty good duo, but they still said, hey, everyone else gets 3, where's our third? But as we saw last season, they won the regular season. Of course, you had 3 teams end with 38 points, so it came down to tiebreakers. They won the semifinal, hosted the final, unfortunately losing to Portland 2-0 last August.
It is July 5th here, and on the heels of Independence Day, important for us to note, last night here at BBVA Compass Stadium was Armed Forces Appreciation Night, and we're going to have a special story coming up at the half about Houston Dash reserve goalkeeper Haley Carter. So make sure to stick with us for that.
And I like the Dynamo jerseys last night had the red, white, and blue flag pattern within the numbers.
Cool, yeah. I had a lot of people ask me where they could get one of those.
Of course.
I think you got to make the team is pretty much the only way you could get one of those. Sloppy turnover here from Kyle. Lloyd racing in one-on-one with McLeod. Lloyd with the fake. Lloyd with the shot. McLeod, a save! Erin McLeod standing on her head to keep the Dash alive in this one. A third goal would have been done and dusted for Houston. Instead, they come back playing the other way. McCarty on the ball. Taken away by Tegan Allen. Ball knocked out of bounds. And how about that? In a moment of need, McLeod delivers.
You know that McLeod was thinking about those 2 previous goals, especially the first one where she got caught a little too far out of her area, and she shut that down right.
Western New York on the front foot here and looking for a knockout punch. Reynolds into the attack again. Reynolds and Klingenberg. Kerr into Lloyd, whose touch fails her. Don't say that very often. Becky Edwards with the challenge. And the Dash under a ton of pressure here. Klingenberg just gets to it, knocks it forward, and deep into Western New York territory. Klingenberg, a Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native, went to Pine Richland High School. I believe they're the Rams. Spent some time in Western PA during my college days. Covered the Pine Richland football team. Kyle has it stripped. Becky Edwards now applying pressure, but not enough, as Western New York with some time to build out of the back. Oakes anticipates well. Nina Berger into a crunching challenge from Jasmine Spencer. Klingenberg with the header. Prevent that ball getting through to Samantha Kerr. Scary to think about, Jen, what this Western New York attack might look like with Abby Wambach in it.
And also Adriana Martin.
Pushing forward, Oakes into the box. Oakes on her preferred left foot. The shot, side netting, goal kick. Martin had that great goal back on June 11th, as we get a second look at the effort from Stephanie Oakes here.
Getting up all the way from that left back position, trying to cross the ball in, but just a little too far. And that's the value of a player like that playing defense, that they can make those runs up the flank and contribute to the attack.
For all your updates on Houston Dynamo, Houston-TSU football and more, make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at BBVA Compass Stadium. That's BBVA Compass STDM. Tegan Allen chases this ball down. Oakes applying some high pressure, but Angela Salem with time and space in midfield picks out Spencer. Edwards intervenes. Here's McCarty. McCarty into Ohio. Ohio onside. Ohio on a right foot. Ohio into the box. Shot! Just whistles it wide. Kaylee Ohio, oh so close to an opener for the Dash.
Nice feed by McCarty to see Ohio making the run. Great shot to get past the keeper, but just a few inches too wide.
And Ohio knows a thing or two about big goals. Scored the game winner in the final of the U20 Women's World Cup against Germany back in 2012.
And next month, you've got the 2014 U20 Women's World Cup kicking off in Canada. And ESPN is actually going to stream all the games.
Ella Masser plays it through. Quiet night so far for Masser. She's been moved around a lot. Randy Waldrum sometimes using her in the top line of the 4-3-3, other times dropping her all the way back into midfield. And that's where Ella's playing tonight.
Well, with the loss of Brittany Bach in the inaugural game, and then Jordan Jackson had a pretty tough knock on the head a few games ago, Masser's really had to step in and help with midfield.
Another turnover here has Western New York on the front foot. Lloyd on her left. Slips it to Jasmine Spencer. Spencer with the cross. Ohale clears away. Erin McLeod seemed to be calling for it, but the Nigerian international not taking any chances. Houston already down 2-0. Klingenberg shoved from behind. She'll get the call. 37th minute here at BBVA Compass Stadium. The dash with plenty of time, but plenty of work to do. Klingenberg knocks it forward. Oh, high. Oh, high, trying to pick out Berger. This Western New York defense has done well so far here this evening. Chances few and far between for the home side. Klingenberg all the way up. Into Houston's attacking third. She'll have to get back now. O'Hale there. Oak's touch abandons her. Samantha Kerr. Speculative ball forward. Cleaned up by the dash. Klingenberg here, open on the near side. She'll get it with time and space. Klingenberg into the middle. Klingenberg tries to slip it through, can't do so. But the dash, at least for the moment, seem to be grabbing a hold of possession and control of this game. McCall Zerboni functioning as the pivot in midfield for Western New York. Whitney Engen now. Engen to McCarty. McCarty couldn't quite get her foot on that. Otherwise, the youngster out of Florida State may have been through on Lydia Williams. 2-0 here in the 39th minute. As you see Randy Waldrom's substitute options warming up. At long last, a full bench for the former Notre Dame head coach. Waldrom, a two-time national champ, 2004 and 2010 with the Fighting Irish. Klingenberg has found herself on the ball a lot here tonight.
Can definitely see that versatility, but I'm getting a little worried that she's pushing way up into midfield and leaving that back exposed.
At 2-0. More risks to be taken here for Houston. Zerboni, Salem, and Losada triangulate in midfield. Williamson on the ball now, playing with a yellow card. She picked up that caution in the 21st minute. And this will be Western New York ball deep in Houston's end.
You can see Klingenberg getting frustrated. I don't know if she's had the time to really acclimate to the Houston heat and humidity.
Kerr rounds Klingenberg, but her service snuffed out by the dash. Becky Edwards now with a chance to clear. She'll do just that, looking for Ohio. But the ball well past the Houston forward. Must be said, a dominant first half performance here from Western New York. Coming off a 4-game homestand. They went 2-2, but the 2 losses coming against the Seattle Reign, which in and of itself is not a bad or unexpected result with what Seattle has done so far here in 2014. Edwards chopped down.
And New York is one of the few clubs to have tied Seattle. You know, they're 12-0-3 on the season. 3 ties: Sky Blue, Kansas City, and Western New York Flash.
'41st minute. Dash could use a lifeline here. As we close in on halftime, Berger checking back to defend, forces an errant pass from Carly Lloyd. O.C. Ohale in trouble here in the corner. She's pressured by Vicky Losada. The Nigerian coolly plays out of that pressure. And now Kaylin Kyle will look to build the dash attack. Not much link-up play between the midfield and forwards here for Houston, as Western New York has had their fair run of things. McLeod looking for Oakes on the outlet. Oakes across midfield, her ball knocked out of bounds. Leyland Kyle dancing around Lloyd. Berger drops it back to the Canadian, who looks for Oakes. Houston with possession here, stringing together some passes. Now a switch to Klingenberg. Klingenberg brings it down, takes a shot from Zerboni, and we'll have a free kick here. Klingenberg not too happy about it. She wants a card. Set piece here for the Dash. This is usually where we'd see Ari Romero taking the dead ball, but with Klingenberg in place of the Mexican international, the former UNC star, to put this one in play. Klingenberg whips it in. Well-delivered ball. Cleared by Western New York. Dash maintained possession. Klingenberg into McCarty. Oh, high now. McCall Zerboni with some good tight defense there to deny service in. 44th minute, halftime, rapidly approaching here at BBVA Compass Stadium. The Houston Dash trail 2-0. They come back not out of the realm of possibility, but a goal before halftime would go a long, long way. Ohai turns. The Dash look to relieve pressure, playing here on the near sideline. Ohale, long ball forward. And it's eventually steered away by Salem. McCall Zerboni intercepts, and she's got some space. Zerboni's still on it. Tegan Allen. Right back, recently acquired by Western New York. Most recently played for the Western Sydney Wanderers in Australia. Stephanie Oakes there on the ball. She also played in Australia for Canberra United.
As did Lydia Williams. I don't know if they played together in the offseason, though.
Oakes in, but Brittany Taylor there. I've not called Taylor's name very much here this evening. Taylor, a 2013 NWSL Best 11 selection. She anchors the back line for the Flash. We have completed 45 minutes of play here at BBVA Compass Stadium. No sign yet from the fourth official on added time here before the half, but it'll be Brittany Taylor to take this set piece. Taylor laces it in towards the penalty area. McLeod with some hang time she gathers. That'll be the final play of the first half. And after 45 minutes, it's all Western New York. The Flash 2, the Dash nothing. When we return, a special story on one of Houston's unheralded stars. Don't go anywhere. Women's Pro Soccer continues in just a moment here on CSN.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage than Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
Wayne, he's going to put it in the back of the net. Will he score, Wayne? Will he break it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend?
E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo, que
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. At the half, it's the Western New York Flash 2, the Houston Dash 0, Week 13 NWSL action here on CSN. Glad to have you back with us. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper. Gonna change gears a little bit here on the broadcast. You're about to see a piece on Houston Dash reserve goalkeeper Haley Carter. And Jen, she's one of the more unique stories on this Dash roster.
Right, the Friendswood native, she played her college ball at the United States Naval Academy, and then graduating from the academy became a Marine. How many NWSL teams have a Marine on their roster? I think it's just the Dash.
Yeah, plenty of impressive resumes throughout this league, but perhaps none quite like Haley Carter. Let's take a look.
You won't find her name anywhere on the roster, but most mornings you can find her among the first players reporting for Houston Dash practice. Before each home game, she's in goal, though during matches, you won't see her on the field or bench. And yet, reserve goalkeeper Haley Carter, despite her somewhat low profile, is actually the ideal teammate. An athlete, veteran, and mother, well-versed when it comes to sacrifice and persistence. As a teenager, Carter played for Friendswood High School, winning the state 4A title in 2001. She also played club soccer, though much farther away, San Antonio to be exact, making for a better than 400-mile round-trip commute.
I kind of started getting the traveling mentality when I started doing Olympic development here with South Texas. And, you know, I kind of outgrew my club here in Houston. It was a great club. I was ready to move on to something a little bit bigger, a little bit more competitive. And so I knew girls on the classics in San Antonio from playing in ODP, and so sold my parents on it because I said, I will get a scholarship for college. You guys will not have to pay for college. Like, can we do this? And, you know, my parents said, okay.
The grueling combo of travel and training paid off. An offer to play collegiately at the Naval Academy in Annapolis ensured Haley the chance to fulfill a lifelong dream and keep that promise to her parents.
You're not going there. You don't make the decision to go there because you want to be a professional soccer player. You make the decision to go there because you want to serve your country and you want to be a military officer.
Playing Division I soccer at a service academy means long hours. Reveille in the morning, classes in the afternoon, training to cap it all off. And after a long 4 years, Carter's real work began. 2 tours in Iraq, as a Marine Corps captain, first in Fallujah, then in Al-Assad, perhaps two of the last places on earth one might expect to find the beautiful game.
You know, I was fortunate enough to, when I was in Iraq, we had tournaments in Fallujah with the local Iraqi interpreters and stuff like that. So I got to play with the boys, you know, on like dirt fields, and you'd be surprised at how much that will improve your skill. And obviously playing with guys, everybody knows playing with boys, it's a quick pace. And then in between deployments, I was able to play All Armed Forces soccer, which is basically, it's kind of like an all-star college team. There are always a handful of enlisted players who are ballers. A lot of them played in college. There are a lot of West Point, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy graduates that play on the team. And we play against other military teams. The Europeans and the Brazilians and the Koreans are pretty well known for playing their like U23 national teams against us. Because in those nations, they are required to have a service obligation to their country, and that is their obligation to their country.
Obligation is something Carter knows all about these days. On top of her duties with the Dash, Haley holds down a full-time job, commutes multiple times a week from Austin to Houston, and yes, is a mother to Harper, a very active young man. It's a schedule that could make the most organized person lose their mind. But time management is just one of many leftovers from Carter's days in the military.
They made fun of me the other night for bringing snacks on the bus and always being prepared, because I'm a mom. Moms are always prepared. The mom brought snacks. Yeah, you know, and actually that is a lot of fun too, because you start, like you were talking about, you start seeing a lot of the full national team girls having kids, and it kind of shows that you can have kids and play the sport at the same time. So the other girls get to spend some time with Harper, and Harper loves it. He is always talking about the soccer girls. It's fun to bring him around and to let him see the environment, and I'm appreciative that I get to surround him with, 20 amazing role models that are female role models, because that's another important reason for me kind of pursuing this, is that I want to set the example for my son that you can really do anything that you put your mind to, and even if it takes 30 years to get around to it, the opportunity is always there. You just have to work at it. And I want him to appreciate female athletes and women's sports, and I want him to grow up in an environment where he feels like he can be anything he wants to be.
Is there any time where your past experiences in the military kind of play themselves out on a field or in a practice or even in like a group dynamic?
Yeah, I think absolutely. Loyalty is a big thing for me, and I think that loyalty and willingness to put out for your teammates those are important values for me. And I definitely see that here on this team every day. I mean, these are some of the most intense training sessions ever, and you will consistently see girls putting themselves on the line, even in practices. Short-sided games, even in drills. So yeah, absolutely. I think that, they say that sports teaches you a lot about life, and I would agree, it absolutely does. But I think that when you start talking about age difference and perspective difference with me coming onto the team being a little bit older, I definitely think that the military aspect and my military background, my perspective on things is very team-oriented. I've told Randy that, when you start talking about living the dream, like I'm happy to be here. I'm here to support the team. I want to play the best soccer that I can. I want to get the most out of every training session that I can. But ultimately, I feel like my role is here to make the team better. And that is the most important aspect of this, is supporting the team, growing the sport in Houston, keeping the league going. The team being the priority is kind of my mantra, and that's definitely something that I've taken away from the military. It's always others before yourself, and I buy that.
Haley Carter, an inspiration both on field and off. When we return, I'll look back at the first half highlights, plus a look ahead to the second 45. Don't go anywhere. At the break, it's Western New York 2, Houston 0.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
An exoskeleton powered by brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
He's done just about anything else. Give it away, Brad Davis, and we are level.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. After 45 minutes, it's the Western New York Flash 2, the Houston Dash 0. Houston hoping to avoid a 3-match losing streak. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper here with you. Jen, let's go over that first half. Your thoughts on the opening 45. Western New York look, quite frankly, to be the better team.
They've got so many areas that they can attack from, and frankly, the Dash defense isn't shutting it down. I question Randy Waldrum starting Ohale when she hasn't practiced much this week, but there could be some other team issues we don't know about. And Megan Klingenberg, we know she's a great player, but I just don't think she's comfortable in this system yet. So I'm curious to see what we're going to see in terms of subs for the second half.
Some adjustments could be up for the Houston Dash. Let's take a look at the highlights from the opening 45 minutes. Some back and forth plays to start this thing off, and then Western New York grabbed control about halfway through the opening 45. Chance here for Jasmine Spencer as she raced in on Erin McLeod following a loose touch there from Osinachi Ohale. Ohale, we were told, dealing with some illness this week. And then a goal from Spencer in the 13th minute as she puts Western New York up 1-0. The Dash with a chance here as Tiffany McCarty races in. Her shot not good enough to beat Lydia Williams. And then Samantha Kerr buries it in a one-on-one duel with Erin McLeod. That made it 2-0. The Dash went in search of an opener. McCarty, dangerous there. Carly Lloyd, another one-on-one chance here. McLeod with a great save, perhaps her best of the night, to keep it at 2-0. Kaylee O'High, dangerous as well. Nearly found the far post, but after 45 minutes, the Dash trail Western New York 2-0. When we return here on CSN, the second half kickoff, the Randy Waldrum and company have a rally left in them. We'll be back in just a moment on CSN.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacampass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
A device that reads brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. A tiny isotope that detects Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. A procedure that repairs heart valves without opening the chest. A better tomorrow made possible today. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I don't think anybody is more conscious of the fact that he's still to score on the biggest stage and Wayne himself. He needs to make a difference.
Will he score, Wayne? Will he break it up, Wayne?
The question is, can Neymar live up to the number 10 legend? E foi assim, a noite passada, que Portugal venceu graças a Ronaldo. Ficou...
Welcome back to BBVA Compass Stadium. Sebastian Salzar, Jen Cooper here with you on CSN. Second half underway between the Houston Dash and Western New York Flash. The home side trailing 2-0 after the opening 45 minutes. Got a substitution at the half for Western New York. Coming in, Amy Barzik in central defense. She replaces McKinney, Texas native Kat Williamson, who comes off after 45 minutes of play. Also on for the Houston Dash, Ari Romero at right back. Megan Klingenberg has been pushed up into a central midfield role.
And it looks like Masser is up forward, so Nina Berger came off.
So Romero for Berger, the Mexican international, replacing the Austrian international. Some real quality in midfield now. Becky Edwards, Megan Klingenberg, and Kaylin Kyle. You mentioned, Jen, we might see a halftime adjustment from Randy Waldrum. You said it might involve Klingenberg. Right on both counts.
When you've got that versatility that you know she can play midfield, and I can't see any Dash game where Ari Romero doesn't come on the field. That's like sacrilege.
Romero, a stalwart at the back in her rookie season out of Nebraska. Kerr pushing in. Kerr into the box. Kerr with a shot. Kerr off the crossbar. The Dash living on the edge here to open the second half as Samantha Kerr proves dangerous yet again. Here's Kaylee O'High, nearly tucked it through to Tiffany McCarty. But a good play from Brittany Taylor.
As we've seen in the World Cup, sometimes the crossbar does what it needs to do. It's the keeper's best friend.
McLeod beaten there. O'Hale and Spencer now. O'Hale. The size and strength advantage, and she uses it well. Goal kick Houston.
Kerr gets the shot off, just a little too high, bounces back. Dash calmly clears it. I think that was Whitney Egan clearing it out.
Gotta be some concern though for Randy Waldrum. Kerr going right through the heart of the Houston defense on that run. Klingenberg lets it roll, as does Allen. I don't know if either was intentional.
Well, and that's the challenge bringing in Engen and Klingenberg this late is, so you've played without them and this team has adapted to playing without them, and you know they'll raise the level of the team, but incorporating them this late into the season can be very challenging.
Reynolds has it tackled away, but Western New York keeps possession here in the Houston half. McCarty with the strip, and a late whistle from Katja Koroleva will draw the ire of the home fans here in Houston as the Dash look to be off and running. Instead, free kick Western New York, 49th minute, 2-0 to the visitors.
Looks like Masser got her foot around the back. Lloyd not happy as usual.
Taylor with the service. She'll drive it in towards Oakes. Clears it away. McCarty trying to fight off Allen. McCarty finally does draw the whistle there. Plenty of time left for Randy Waldrum and his charges here. But the Dash have been forced to play come from behind a few too many times this season.
Yeah, Waldrum has his jacket off. That's not because of the weather.
Masser in there with the fight, appealing for a handball, won't get the call. Salem ahead to Kerr. Loose ball here in midfield. Who's going to come away with it? Salem draws the foul. See the frustration starting to mount for Houston. A couple of close calls going Western New York's way in the early going here at BBVA Compass Stadium. A reminder, folks, don't miss the Dynamos. They take on Toronto FC on July 19th at 7:30 right here in downtown Houston. Tickets on sale now. Log on to HoustonDynamo.com today. Ari Romero chases it down. She'll try and launch the Dash attack from deep in their own end. Engen on it. Big ball wide to Stephanie Oakes. Oakes with one of her first forays into the attack. Finds Klingenberg. Klingenberg can't gather it. And now the Dash caught sending numbers forward. McCall Zerboni. Wide to Spencer. Spencer and Engen one-on-one. Spencer chooses against that battle. She may have another go at it here. Squeezes it past Engen. Spencer past Oakes as well, but the second touch long and out of bounds. Goal kick. Oakes probably one of the last players we expected to be a mainstay at the back for Houston, and yet she's proven to be just that this season.
Yeah, rookie season of Washington Spirit last year I know was pretty frustrating. I think she had one goal on the season, picked up in the expansion draft. And I think it was just, brilliant of Randy to implement the plan he had a couple years ago when she was with the U23s. Say, hey, I can convert you to left back. And that will possibly actually give her a future on the national team.
That wide wing position is pretty stacked for the U.S. High nearly on the end of that through ball, but it's been far too many nearlies here for Houston through 53 minutes. Foul in midfield, and the Dash will have a set piece. Klingenberg plays it quickly to McCarty, but Koroleva will bring it back.
And we see the potential in Kaleo High, and she's going to have a really hard time getting into that core because the forward pool is so deep for the U.S. women's national team.
Ari Romero looks set to take the free kick here. Dash sending numbers forward into the box. 7 players in or around the Western New York area. Ball driven to the penalty spot. Kyle with the header. Kerr clears it out. Zerboni shielding Engen. Ohale pumps it back in. Amy Barzik will wisely let it roll out for a goal kick.
And you see Klingenberg dropping back to take Engen's place as Engen makes that forward run. I'm sure they're used to doing that a lot when they were playing together in Sweden for Tyresö.
So many players on this field with Champions League experience. I mentioned the Tyresö duo for the Dash. Barzik spent her off season in Russia. Got some Champions League run there.
Maybe the Spaniards?
Player down on the field for Western New York. That's Angela Salem. Get a second look at what happened. I believe it's her right ankle.
Yeah, it looks like she landed funny. Not so much the knock from Masser, it's just landing funny after the knock.
55th minute here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Salem down, Ohio native. Played her college ball at tiny Francis Marion University.
And if either Salem or Masser get a yellow on that play, that's their 5th. That means they'd be sitting out the next NWSL match.
Feels like Ella's been sitting on 4 yellow cards for almost a month and a half.
Right, and she's very aware of that. Unlike MLS, where if you have a certain number of games without a yellow, they take one back. NWSL doesn't take one back.
Head coach Aaron Lines. As we mentioned, a long playing career for New Zealand, 31 caps for the 37-year-old. Salem looks like she's gonna try and walk off under her own power. Draws a ovation here from the fans.
One more look at it. Ella's trying to head it into the foot of Carly Lloyd. Meanwhile, Salem lands poorly on that ankle. And Lloyd, who has had her own yellow card issues and suspensions, just put the hands up like, that wasn't me.
Sonia Bermudez and Kristen Edmonds, the 2 players warming up right now for Western New York, but no sign that either will be checking in as Salem tries to shake it off and continue. She's on the far side, so Western New York will play down a player here in the 57th minute. Ari Romero with the free kick. Romero and Williams well off her line. A confident catch from the Australian goalie. Carly Lloyd slips it through. Spencer. McLeod well off her line. Spencer with a touch. McLeod a touch better. Klingenberg plays it forward. Ohio tried the one touch to Masser. Couldn't find her midfield teammate. Engen with yet another timely intervention as Western New York's pressure continues to mount. The flash in search of a third and potentially back-breaking goal. Houston need a lifeline. Ohio spinning. Nearly faked herself out there, but manages to maintain possession. Edwards now on it. Fans here getting behind the home side. Edwards and Lloyd. Lloyd comes away with it. Calls Zerboni. Trying to find her way out. And we'll get some help from the American international. Lloyd again finds the ball, this time with a little more space. Springs it wide. Reynolds down the left side. Keeps it in play. Reynolds to Kerr. Kerr tried the give and go. Well defended there from Houston. Kyle and McCarty trying to find their way out of a tricky situation. Limited space right now for the dash. Romero, driven ball forward. It'll land at the feet of Kaylee Ohai. Ohai to Becky Edwards on the far side. Edwards, the ball into space, but Williams, again in the right place at the right time. 59th minute, 2-0 Western New York.
The dash seemed more calm and composed this half. I think the substitutions have made a difference. They're working it out of the back. They're not panicking. We're not seeing them lose their shape.
Klingenberg will let this ball roll out.
And it looks like on the sidelines warming up for the dash, we've got Kika Toulouse, Lindsay Elston, and Jordan Jackson.
Ball into McCarty. The youngster keeps it in, but loses in the one-on-one battle to Catherine Reynolds. McCall Zerboni. Zerboni with plenty of options moving forward. She'll go to Carly Lloyd. Lloyd over the top. Kerr again in. Kerr one-on-one. Kerr rounds McLeod. It'll be a goal kick for Houston. Let's take a second look at it.
Kerr gets past the defender, but McLeod comes out big, stretched, gets a touch on the ball, gets a little touch of Kerr, but clean play per the referee.
Houston fortunate to avoid the corner kick there. McCarty on the ball, had Ohai, but the forward duo cannot connect.
And we were talking about players with Champions League experience before. You know, we should also mention that Carly Lloyd scored the game-winning goals in both of the last two Olympic finals for the USA. She had two against Japan in London 2012 and an overtime goal against Brazil in 2008.
Ohai in here with some time and space. Klingenberg jumping into the attack. Ohai and Allen. Ohai on her right foot. Shot. Deflected away. Brittany Taylor there with the block. Dash coming to life a little bit. But Lloyd, who already has one assist in the 28th minute to Samantha Kerr, begins the attack for Houston. And now Becky Edwards called for the foul. 62nd minute. Score remains 2-0 Western New York. Goals in the 12th and 28th for the visitors. Tegan Allen. Blocked by Klingenberg, who now applies pressure. Western New York continuing to build from their back four. Vicky Lasada through to Kerr. Kerr on sides. Erin McLeod sprinting off her line and quickly distributes to Ari Romero.
Easy grab from McLeod. She read that play right.
Nice build up here from Houston. Ohai fighting off the defender. Kalia goes wide to Ari Romero. Romero with the early cross. It's going to fall to Megan Klingenberg. Can she chase it down? Two-time NCAA champion, the University of North Carolina, on her right foot. Into the box now on her left. The shot, side netting. As the Dash continue to press for an opener.
Now we've talked about the Australians that are here, the Spaniards, let's see, Ari's from Mexico, Osi's from Nigeria. We also have a Danish international here, just not on the fields. Randy Waldrum told me today that the coach of the Denmark women's national team, Niels Nielsen, is here tonight. He's going to be in Houston for the next couple of weeks. And I'm sure most U.S. women's soccer fans remember that 5-3 loss to Denmark in the Algarve Cup, the most goals the U.S. women have ever allowed. And Klingenberg, Engen, and Carly Lloyd were all part of that match back in Portugal in March.
May not have been the final straw, but certainly part of the undoing for Tom Sermanni, most likely.
Unfortunately, part of the undoing. And I know some people might disagree with me when I say the U.S. needs to have losses like that, you know, especially when you're 15 months out from the Women's World Cup and you're playing in a situation where it's like it's not a big game, there's not a big crowd, you're starting very young players. That's the experience they need, and 5-3 doesn't tell you the whole story. They were down 3-0 at the half, and they fought back, and it's a great game to watch if you can find it out there on Tumblr. Hint, hint.
Ball goes out of bounds. A quick reminder, if you want to win 2 tickets to the Houston Dash versus Boston Breakers match, that's coming up on July 11th, text prize to 69050 for your chance to win. Ohai into the corner against Barzyk. Ohai now double teamed. She'll try and win a corner kick. Barzyk knocks it high up into the Houston sky. It'll bounce twice. Barzyk's header only as far as Ella Masser. Ari Romero with a chance to serve it. She does so, but Brittany Taylor with the clearance. Lloyd's one-touch pass off the mark. The Dash keep it in the final third. Edwards, left-footed cross. Nearly picked out Ohai, who rose to meet it. Ball there took a deflection, and so Houston will have a chance for the long throw-in, courtesy of Ari Romero, their 2013 Big Ten Defender of the Year. Teammate of Jordan Jackson, who looks set to come into the game. The duo played at Nebraska. Engen, left-footed rip from distance.
And it looks like Randy Waldrum will use both of his remaining subs with Jordan Jackson and Lindsay Elston on the sideline ready to come in. Guessing maybe Masser coming out in midfield? No, he had pushed up to forward. Maybe Masser, Elston in for Masser.
Yeah, it's going to be Ella Masser coming off in the 66th minute, replaced by the 4th round draft pick out of Nebraska, Jordan Jackson. She had a great start to this season, dealt with a head injury, took her out of a few games, but Jackson now back into the rotation for Randy Waldrum. Klingenberg turns, brought down. Fairly obvious, right in front of the center ref, Katja Koroleva. Second sub coming on now. And it will be Lindsay Elston.
And I don't think Kling hears her name being called.
Will replace the U.S. international, making her Houston Dash debut tonight, Megan Klingenberg. She exits the field in the 67th minute.
She would have played for the Dash in that match at Western New York on May 31st, but her international transfer certificate had not come in, even though Whitney Eggens had.
Ari Romero, good ball in, but a little too much hang time on it as Lydia Williams gathers with confidence. Whitney Engen wins it right back for the Dash. Lindsay Elston's first touch, a good one. She finds Jordan Jackson. Jackson cross into Kyle. Kyle with the shot, blocked away, but the Canadian in an offside position. So the Dash have used all 3 of their subs here with a little more than 20 minutes to go at BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, trailing 2-0.
It's not nearly as hot and humid as we normally get, but you can still see the humidity affecting the players.
Rain over the last few days cooled things off here in the Bayou City. Temperatures in the 90s all week. And really, it should be noted, it's been a busy 3 days here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Cruzeiro and Tigres, an international friendly between the Brazilian and Mexican sides. Thursday night, last night, an MLS match between the Houston Dynamo and New York Red Bulls. Great game, that one, a 2-2 tie. And tonight, the Dash and Flash. Spencer into the box. Spencer with the cross. McLeod. No problems for the Canadian keeper. Gave up 2 early goals, but since then has managed to keep Houston in this thing. Well within striking distance are the Dash in the 69th minute. Great one-touch work here from Western New York as they bring the ball across midfield. Lloyd on it. Lloyd, so smooth, clean, technically on the ball. Allen rounds Oakes, but Oakes fights back and somehow comes away with it. Tried to find Tiffany McCarty and actually did so, but McCarty's touch too long, goes out of bounds. Western New York now slowing things down with the lead. No need for the visitors to rush. Kyle with a hopeful ball forward, but it'll set the Flash in motion here. McCall Zerboni. Zerboni running at Romero towards the center of the park. Spencer wanted the flick. Couldn't quite find Kerr. Remember, folks, nothing gets past the keeper, and that's why you should listen to the Keeper Notes Soccer Show every Sunday at 10 a.m. on Yahoo Sports Radio 1560. For more info, check out keepernotes.com.
Lots of World Cup tomorrow. And as the World Cup has shown us, we know you can see 3 goals in the last, 5 minutes of the game? Yeah, anything's possible.
They've left it late in Brazil aplenty. That was a little bit late getting to the stadium here as the Costa Rica match went to penalty kicks. Rooting for a CONCACAF team to make the semifinals.
I was hoping Navas would get just one of those.
If there was any goalkeeper that could, you'd figure it would be Keylor Navas. Probably the goalkeeper of the tournament, and that's saying something with all the phenomenal performances we've seen. Tim Howard, Guillermo Ochoa. CONCACAF goalkeepers have been great down in Brazil.
My vote's for Tim Howard, if for no other reason than 16 saves in one match is numbers we haven't seen since the 1960s.
Dash hoping for a great performance here over the last 20. Ball crossed in. Oakes pushing all the way up from her left back spot, trying to get involved, but she's now caught out. Here comes Spencer. Western New York with numbers. Carly Lloyd onside, the ball long, no. Flag comes up a little bit late on the near sideline. Lloyd will chase it in vain.
And here's the advantage of having Stephanie Oakes also with experience as a forward. She's, even at that left back, she's pushing all the way up to that front line.
This may soon be a 3-4-3. And a dangerous challenge there from Tegan Allen. Koroleva straight to the pocket. The Australian would earn a yellow in the 73rd minute for that challenge on Stephanie Oakes.
Trying to get ball Her toe almost does, but she slices through Stephanie Oaks to do it. Dangerous play.
Allen perhaps fortunate to escape with just a yellow there. Substitute coming for Western New York. Member of the Spanish national team, Sonia Bermudez, approaching the fourth official. Romero with the cross in here. Carly Lloyd with the header. And here comes Samantha Kerr, one-on-one with Osinachi Ohale. Kaylee Ohai chasing from behind, pushing Kerr to the left. Kerr takes it into the corner, and Ohai, not known as a defender, does some great back-checking there.
Amazing defensive work by the rookie out of North Carolina.
So here comes Sonia. She'll replace Jasmine Spencer, who leaves the field with a goal to her credit. Her second of the season, coming in the 12th minute. A nice finish over the onrushing Erin McLeod. Sonia spent the last 3 years with FC Barcelona, leading the team to 3 titles. She had a league best 28 goals last season. Earlier in 2014, she had a spectacular goal, somewhat of a viral sensation on the internet. 200,000 plus views. Just Google Sonia goal. Drawing some comparisons to Messi with her fantastic finish. Jordan Jackson now racing forward. Ohai with the cross. Jackson on it. Jackson with the header. But nowhere near enough to trouble Lydia Williams. Don't miss the dash as they take on the Boston Breakers on July 11th at 8 o'clock. See the replay here from Jordan Jackson. Tickets on sale now. Log on to houston-soccer.com for more information. That game will be played here at BBVA Compass. Set piece here, just inches on the wrong side of the midfield line, but Romero will send it in. He's got 7 dash targets near the Western New York penalty area. 76th minute, Romero to the penalty spot. Kyle up, Williams punches away, crashing into Angela Salem. Salem remains down in the penalty area. Here come the dash. Becky Edwards turns, tried to find Lindsay Elston. It's going to be Allen there first, who knocks it out for a throw-in, but Houston pressuring with a quarter hour to play. Oaks will take the throw-in. Elston challenges, but Brittany Taylor wins. Oaks again. Taylor again. Edwards tried to knock it back to Tiffany McCarty, who was waiting atop the box. Instead, Carly Lloyd breaks free here. She'll go wide to McCall Zerboni. Kerr could have turned with space there, but with a 2-0 lead and 14 minutes left in regulation, Western New York choosing the more patient approach.
A win for New York means a big leap up into third place. They'd be tied with the Washington Spirit. They know catching Seattle is probably out of the realm of possibilities, but for most of these teams, you get in that Final Four, anything can happen.
Dangerous ball back to McLeod here from Ohale. Not the first time we've said that tonight. Lloyd will gather. Sliding tackle from Ari Romero, and a good one at that. The Mexican international brings it forward with Stephanie Oaks. Oaks tried the 1-2, but the wing duo can't connect. Romero blocks it out, Western New York ball. Dash running out of time here. Western New York still enjoying at least their fair share of possession. Ball over the top to Sonia, but she'll be offside. And a late challenge here will draw a free kick behind the play. It was Becky Edwards crunching in on Carly Lloyd. And the Western New York captain remains down.
Becky Edwards just getting a foot right on Carly as she's making that pass. Probably not the best feeling for Lloyd.
The Dash looking to avoid a third straight defeat. 79th minute. Vicky Lasada will take the free kick. Ball flicked on and out of bounds. Carly Lloyd on the receiving end. Whitney Engen, the American international, on the ball, and she holds her hand up after that play as if to say, my bad. Missed the connection with Kaylee Ohio on the near sideline, and Western New York all too happy to send it forward into the Houston end. One-touch pass from Sonia into Samantha Kerr. Brilliance from the Spaniard as she picks out the Australian. Western New York on the ball. Kerr sends it back into the box. Kaylin Kyle clears, but Angela Salem there to gather. Salem to Zerboni. Puts it through to Sonia. Offside flag stays down. Sonia rounds McLeod. Sonia with a goal! And moments after coming off the bench, one of the more talented members of the Spanish national team strikes with a silky left foot.
McLeod commits to try to smother the ball, doesn't get there in time, and the defense just does not do what they're supposed to do and get all the way back to that line. As we've seen the Flash play very calm and composed and wasting some time, we're seeing the Dash in all different kinds of formations. Stephanie Oakes over on the right, Engen on the left. Sure, there's a lack of communication that led to that goal.
Oh, high into the box, a touch, a goal! The Dash! Jordan Jackson! Instant offense from the Houston bench.
And this is why you say it ain't over till it's over. Great ball to split the defense. Jackson gets a toe on it. All that it takes. Far wide, nothing Williams can do about that. Great feed from Ohio. That's got to make Randy Waldrum and the Dash feel better.
So goals in consecutive minutes here at BBVA Compass Stadium, and suddenly this game has come to life. The Dash in search of a second. Jackson on the ball, the goal scorer. Ball runs long on Romero, and Western New York glad to take the air out of this one. Slow things down in the 82nd as they enjoy a 2-goal lead on the road. Sonia Bermudez with a goal in the 80th minute. Jackson with a responding strike in the 81st. Elston loses possession. Jackson now to Edwards. Tiffany McCarty all alone on the far side. McCarty will get it, but she'll do so in an offside position. The flag coming up late from the far side, AR. Time running out for Houston, down 3-1 with 7 minutes left in regulation.
And this young club has not given up this many goals since the May 26th match at Washington Spirit.
Engen rises to win the header. Salem, who has covered tons of ground in midfield for Western New York, with the win. Two teams trading possession. And now Western New York with the ball at the feet of their captain, Carly Lloyd, but Houston wins it back. Edwards on it. She tries to find Lindsay Elston, but not enough on that pass. Vicky Lasada dancing at midfield. Lasada to Lloyd. Lloyd sprays it wide as Western New York relieves pressure. Ball bounced up, looked like it may have touched a hand out there on the far side. Instead, an offside call coming here against Sonia. Kyle looked to put it in play quickly. Instead, it'll be Whitney Engen. Engen to Oakes, who drops it back to Ari Romero. Romero slips it across. Elston first to it, but touched away. Brittany Taylor right there to break up the Dash attack. 84th minute here in Houston. The home side not out of it yet, but with a lot of work to do in the closing moments. Elston brings it down. Kyle looking to switch here. She'll drop it all the way back to the Nigerian center back, Osinachi Ohale. Romero. That service too long as Lydia Williams gathers inside her area. Looks like Western New York will bring on their third and final substitution, Kristen Edmonds. Approaching midfield, getting ready to check into this ball game.
Edmonds had been a starter on that back four for the last several games, so this was Tegan Allen taking her spot.
So Edmonds checks in, replacing midfielder Vicky Lasada. Lasada, part of this Western New York midfield that took control of the game early, really never relinquished it. Engen another aerial win. Ball last touched, it appeared, by Houston. Kaylin Kyle wanted a foul. Instead, the referees will agree to split the difference, throw in to the Dash. McCarty turns on Allen, but Taylor there for a one-time clearance. Allen and Edmonds teaming up to try and clear this one. Edmonds works her way past Kaylin Kyle before drawing the foul. So both head coaches here have burned through their 3 subs, 87th minute. Taylor smashes it towards the far corner. Samantha Kerr will track it down. Guarded closely by Ari Romero. McCall Zerboni now. A long touch. Ohale will beat Zerboni to it. And now look for some help. She finds no relief and is forced to knock it out for a throw-in. Valuable time ticking off the clock here at BBVA Compass Stadium. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper here with you on CSN. Houston Dash looking to improve on their 4-9-1 record here in their inaugural season. But it'll take something special to do so over the last few minutes. McLeod rushing to put this ball back in play. Carly Lloyd heads it to Kerr. Kerr with some strong hold-up play. Edmonds into Sonia. Sonia on that magical left foot. Lloyd tried to cut it back. The dash can't clear. Salem wanted Kerr on that far side, but the pass too long. 88th minute. Clock ticks towards 90.
Even with the subs and the goals in the second half, I don't think we're going to see a lot of stoppage time. They've got to get it done in the next couple of minutes.
Jackson slides to strip Kerr, but Western New York will keep it. And this is trouble for the Dash. Here comes Edmonds. Edmonds, one-time service. And the ball finds its way into the back of the net. Last touched, I believe, by Becky Edwards. Though we'll get a second look at it now.
Hard to tell without that angle behind the camera. There we go. Own goal.
The muted celebration of Samantha Kerr tells the story there. 4-1 Western New York in the 89th minute. An own goal off the foot of Becky Edwards. And the Dash in all sorts of trouble now. Ball runs out of bounds. Goal kick to the visitors. Lydia Williams takes her time. Williams has made 12 starts this year, coming into tonight. Very good this evening in limiting the Dash to just that lone tally, courtesy of Jordan Jackson a few minutes ago.
And the Flash just one away from their highest goal total on the season. They defeated Portland 5-0 in Portland a few weeks ago.
Taylor, to put it in play, we've got 3 minutes of stoppage time here at BBVA Compass Stadium. O'Halle with a strong clearance. Kyle looks to put it into the corner for Jackson. Instead, Kristen Edmonds cuts it out. Engen ahead, but Western New York really starting to grind this game to a halt. Allen pushing forward to pressure Engen, who has to go all the way back to McLeod, a luxury the Dash really no longer have, with time running out and a 3-goal deficit here in Houston.
And Randy Waldrom's going to have a lot to work on in practice next week. The Dash don't have a game again until next Friday.
Elston with the cross. And a last-ditch effort from Brittany Taylor is the only thing keeping this match from being 4-2. Tegan Allen challenged by Ojai. Good pressure from the young forward, who creates a turnover. Edwards to McCarty, drops it back to Jackson. Jackson with the shot, left-footed, off the bar! Jordan Jackson making a strong case for more playing time here as she nearly grabs a second. Back comes Samantha Kerr for Western New York, but O'Halle pushes the Australian off the ball. And here comes Houston. Edwards trying to go far side to Elston. Catherine Reynolds locked into that passing lane. Kyle spins back towards her own goal. Now we'll knock it forward. Good distribution as she picks out Lindsay Elston on the far sideline. Elston into the box. Edmonds there to clear. Elston called for the foul. She got caught with a high elbow by Katya Koroleva.
Williams definitely taking her time, hoping to run the clock out, finish up the win. This is going to put Washington in that third place spot that they covet.
Here's Sonia working against Edwards. Edwards tries to clear. Gathered by the Spaniard. Lloyd to Allen. Allen with the cross. And this will go out for a corner kick. Last touch by Whitney Engen.
We've not seen a lot of corners tonight for either team.
There'll be no rush to take this one. Western New York up 4-1. Lloyd, left-footed shot. McLeod will add to her save total. And that will be it. A tough night here in Houston for the home side as the Dash fall 4-1 against Western New York. When we return, some final thoughts and highlights. Again, the final score, 4-1 to the Flash.
As a BBVA Compass customer, you have the chance to show your true colors every time you open your wallet.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Presenting Dynamo Banking, featuring debit and credit card options that can help you reach your goals. Open your account today at any of our 80 locations in Houston or online at bbvacompass.com/dynamo. Team works in soccer and in banking.
Making isotopes that can detect Alzheimer's before any symptoms occur. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, leading medicine.
Who's done just about anything else? Give it away, Brad Davis! And we are level!
Before and after every game, watch Dynamo pre- and post-game live, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Learn soccer the Dynamo way and start your path to the pros. The Houston Dynamo offer youth programs for every age and skill level, from a challenging introduction to soccer to intensive competition training and opportunities to play for the Dynamo Academy.
This is Ricardo Clark of the Houston Dynamo. The Dynamo youth programs offer the professional environment required to develop your game and prepare you for success.
To find out more or to register for Dynamo youth programs, visit HoustonDynamo.com.
It's a third straight loss for the Houston Dash tonight as they fall to Western New York 4-1 here at BBVA Compass Stadium. A Week 13 NWSL fixture that goes the way of the visitors. Sebastian Salazar, Jen Cooper back here with you on CSN. A third straight defeat. And how funny how quickly things can change in this league. Just a month ago, it seemed like the Dash had finally figured things out.
Right, and with the 2 wins against Western New York, I'm sure they came in tonight thinking, we know this team, we know how to do this. But Western New York exposed a lot of the flaws in the lineup for the Dash tonight, and I bet we'll see a lot of changes for next Friday's game after a week of practice with Randy Waldrum.
Let's go through the highlights from the second half. After the opening 45, it was 2-0 to Western New York. And they almost added a third in the 47th minute. Saw Samantha Kerr drill one off the crossbar. Aaron McLeod very busy. Kerr in again. McLeod had to come out and clean that up. In the 75th minute, Jordan Jackson, a second half sub with a header on frame, but Lydia Williams with the save. And then Sonia, another second half sub for Western New York. She added the third. Kaylee High found Jordan Jackson in the 81st minute for a quick response from Houston as the 4th round draft pick out of Nebraska adds to her goal tally. That made it 3-1, and then to add insult to injury, an own goal in the 89th minute, last touched by Becky Edwards. Final opportunity for Jordan Jackson there that you saw go off the post. So again, the score from here at BBVA Compass Stadium tonight, Western New York 4, Houston 1. Next up for the Dash, July 11th. That's this Friday here at BBVA Compass Stadium against the Boston Breakers. For Jen Cooper, I'm Sebastian Salzar. Thanks so much for watching this production of NWSL Soccer on Comcast Sportsnet Houston.